identify, negotiate and secure placement requirements for nursing and midwifery courses. During 2007-2008, we needed more than 2,000 placements for pre-registration nursing alone. That's without considering midwifery or post-registration courses. Well, what we look for is, obviously, our placements have to be audited for quality that will ensure that they provide the support required for the students, where students can meet their practice placement outcomes. And we also have to ensure that any statutory requirements are met. These are all identified within the courses when they're written, and we have to ensure that we comply with what is in the course. Some of the problems that might arise for students on placement before undertaking their placement include the amount of travelling they have to do to get to the placement, the cost of that travel, the shift patterns that students have to work, and also students who have children, childminding arrangements can pose difficulties. Students who are on bursaries can claim, usually, for travel expenses. It would be a good idea for students to consider, before coming on the course, to have put some money aside to cover travel costs, particularly in relation to their first placement, because they will be expected to pay for those travel costs before being reimbursed for travel expenses. Normally, students can claim their travel expenses, but only after they've been on placement. So there is a time lag between having to pay the money out and getting the money back. It is not always possible to take into account individual requirements due to the quantity of the placements and the complexity of the placements required. This means that students will be expected to take on new environments and embrace the challenges that that brings. And there was one particular student where her mother was, in actual fact, seriously ill, and she was placed quite a distance to placement, and in those circumstances we did move her closer to home in order that she could spend more time with her mother during that particular difficult time, and that just eased a little bit of the pressure that she was under. An ideal placement should be there to support the student, where the student feels that they can approach the staff, where they can ask questions of the staff, where they feel that they can learn and be happy on that placement. I think, in actual fact, the more that you sort of learn about the placement, obviously the better prepared you are. But also it is important to partake in the preparation days prior to going to placement, so that you have an understanding of some of the things that are expected of you. It's important to discuss with your mentor when you get there, what they understand, what their expectations are of you, and what you want from them, so that it is a partnership and it is a two-way communication and process. Well, if the student in actual fact does spend some time thinking about the placement and planning for the placement, then normally they come over as being motivated, and the staff usually are very keen to support them. They will, most areas now have a list of learning opportunities that students can access, and staff will help them to access those opportunities and to, in actual fact, get the best out of their experience.